station admired by other radio stations. 32 FM.
One tagline is never enough. 32 FM 94.9. Filling the world with laughter.
Are you ready? Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Good morning, esteemed listeners of the Break It Down Papers Review on 32 FM 94.9. Welcome to a brand new day. It's a brand new year and the first Papers Review for the 1st of January 2025. It's a very special honor to start the year with you, and I hope that you have a very beautiful 2025. As always, we begin with the headlines and later on the analysis, and much later we'll take your reactions. I am DENIKE Adimowagon. We begin with the front page of the Guardian newspaper, and the very first story right here says, "I'm disappointed. Tinubu, who once led protests, can't tolerate criticism." That's according to the Bauchi governor, Bala Mohammed. Away from that, federal government retaliates, warns Nigerians against trips to Australia. Uni Abuja appoints Professor Makudi as substantive VC. Bauchi government denies threatening Tinubu, vows collaboration on tax reforms. Away from that one, Nigeria to enforce net zero compliance in upstream oil sector. Telecom sector in pursuit of stability in 2025. This goes to offtake 95% of allocated energy or face next sanction. Most beneficiaries of federal government's humanitarian programs are not on social media. Katsina spent 2.4 billion naira on training 41 students in Egypt. Federal government retaliates, warns Nigerians against trips to Australia. And also you find UCH IBDC differ on returning hospital to Band B. Navy launches new operation to combat oil theft, maritime crimes. Customs intercept 12 containers of illicit drugs worth 20 billion naira in honor. Tax reform bills not anti-North, says Awodu. And lastly, out of the Guardian, Ganduje Kalu assures Nigerians of better year ahead. And we take a look at some headlines out of the Punch newspaper. Right here says FMC Umaya waits hospital upgrade as CMD advocates federal varsity. 3 best meme coin. All right, that's some sort of advertisement on the Punch. Away from that one, why Tinubu must enforce LG autonomy. Now, NULG president. PDP nurtured your political career. Damagum replies Kwakwanso. Also, you find 2027 opposition can't unseat Tinubu without merger, says PDP chair. 5 countries that do not celebrate New Year. That's on the Punch Light this morning. Highs and lows of Nigerian sports in 2024, I beg your pardon. That's on the sports side of things from the Punch. Wike's camp protest as Fubara presents budget to 3-man assembly. Nigerian Navy donates foodstuff to Anambra orphanages. And also you find on the politics side of things, Kano governor signs 719.557 billion naira 2025 budget into law. Jigawa governor signed 698.3 billion naira 2025 budget into law. Okpebolo pledges to replicate Akpabio's governorship achievements in Edo. And also you find from multiple explosions to tragic stampedes, 20 most dominant events of 2024. That's on the Punch. And lastly, Abiodun pays tribute to late Kwara Chief of Staff. Headlines out of the Vanguard. NLC insists on withdrawal of tax reform bills. Naira appreciates to 1,650 naira naira to dollar in parallel market. Nigeria is the unfortunate parent of ungrateful children by Rotimi Fason. Twin brothers kill dismember sex worker in Ogun. Transforming challenges into sustainable success in Nigeria. Still on the vanguard, crisis brews in Anambra community as Monarch Union lock horns over Ofala festival. Rescuing Lake Chad, a call to urgent action on an existential problem. That's an editorial by Usman. Away from that, NLC, I think I've taken that one. I'll take a look at some more. Buhari didn't want Tinubu or Shibaju as successor, but Tinubu outsmarted him. Ex-presidential aide or Judu. Away from that, Fubara unveils 1.188 trillion naira 2025 budget, prioritizing roads, agriculture, health. Forgive Wike's utterances against you, ministers, kinsmen, beg Odili. Nigeria's woes caused by leaders and followers of Obasanjo. You still find on the Vanguard video massive turnout as singles floored Lege Miami's matchmaking event in Lagos. Another South Korea Jeju Air flight suffers landing problem. Competition between Dangote and NNPC reason for petrol price drop, according to Ipman. We'll take a look at some more right here. It says fire got Smart Hotel Police Station in Lagos. Man to sweep court premises for 40 days over wallet ATM card theft. And we'll just wrap it up right here on this final one. It says Argentina charges 5 in death of singer Liam Payne. To the Daily Post, the headlines out of that paper says, I did not threaten Tinubu, Bauchi Governor Bala Mohammed. Okpebolo appoints Wike's ally, Dan Obi, AAU Governing Council Chairman. Banditry allegation, court approves 60-day detention of Miyetti Allah leader, 6 others. Plan to make Tinubu president hatched in Abeokuta, Joe Igbokwe. Take a look at some more right here. Says FCT, Wike reveals punishment for those who refuse to pay certificate of occupancy fee. Kano, Governor Yusuf signed 719.8 billion naira for 2025 budget. Nasarawa New Year cash grant scam, Governor Sule warns. Food queues, stampedes happened in US, not exclusive to Nigeria, minister. Taliban deploys troops to Afghanistan-Pakistan border amid deadly strikes. That's on the foreign side of things. Nasarawa, Governor Sule urges legal action to curb corruption in teaching appointments. Still on the Daily Post, Rivers PDP faction urges INEC to conduct election for 27 vacant assembly. 2025, Nigeria survived 2024 only by God's grace. That's according to the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. Buhari laid a solid foundation for Tinubu. And lastly, that's according to Joe Igbokwe. And lastly, says right here, 2023 election, not voting Osinbajo is like losing Awolowo for a second time. Ojudu. And I'll just take one more still on the politics side of things. It says Osinbajo, Tinubu outsmarted Buhari to become Nigeria's president. We'll go on our first commercial break of the morning, and when we return, it will be time to analyze some of the headlines. Do stay with us.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Màámi, kí ló dé tí ẹ ṣe ní ó jẹ́ dandan fún yín láti ra Nasco cornflakes?
Nítorí ó kún fún èròjà aṣaralóore, ìdá 100 tí kò lábùlà.
Èrò máa wá o, ẹ̀dá gírí máa bọ̀ o, sílé iṣẹ́ mi wá.
feel better about your life.
32 FM 94.9, the antidote to depression.
To FM 94.9, filling the world with laughter. Happy New Year to you once again. And now it's time to dive into the analysis of the headline. To do this morning, I have in the studio Mr. Femi Olukunle. Good morning, sir, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much for having me this morning, and I congratulate you on seeing the beginning of the new year, and I also congratulate our listeners, and I pray this year will be a better year than what we experienced in 2024.
Amen. I mean, speaking of a better year than 2024, I want you to, of course, start off from that angle. Politically and economically, it was quite a challenging year. That was 2024 for a lot of Nigerians. And as much as we were hoping for a much brighter economic outlook, it didn't quite pan out like that for a lot of Nigerians. I mean, we had certain incidents like the fuel situation. We had the fuel price was fluctuating throughout last year. We didn't have like a stable. Today was 900 and something. Tomorrow was 1,000 and something. What are your hopes for the new year, politically, economically? I mean, for the betterment of Nigerians and the economic expectations that you would have as regards how much growth you expect in 2025?
The only way out of the problems we experienced in 2024 is for the president of this country, Senator Bola Tinubu, to rule us with human feelings. Because we discovered that through his media chat in 2024, we discovered that the president is far away from the people, because he relied on what he collected from the information he collected from his people in his cabinet, people around him. So, and anybody who is in the cockpit of governance, whether you are a governor, whether you are the president, even the president of Senate, the Speaker of House of Representatives, these people must have people, independent people outside who feel the pulse of the people they are governing, and they should give them the right feedback. They shouldn't rely on the feedback they collect from the people who say all correct, sir, to them. People who eat from the pots, the large pots they have provided. They will not give them the correct feelings of the people. So this year, I advise President Tinubu, the governor of Oyo State, and all governors, and then the Speaker of Oyo State, the Speaker of the House of Reps, the President of Senate, to have independent information mechanism through which they get the feelings of the people. So it will make them to take the right decisions. We didn't find it funny last year because it was so hard. Even the rich cried last year. So it was not even the petrol thing alone. The instability of Naira falling every time before dollars made inflation to be in the on top of the roof, yes. And then everything followed the inflation. So we didn't enjoy life last year. Just hope that the president will do the right thing this year.
All right, let's go to River State and some of the states that have been reported to be presenting budgets into law for 2025. One of the states involved, Jigawa governor, signed about 698.3 billion naira into law. I think the Kano state government as well, 719 billion. For Bara so far seems to be the highest. He unveiled a 1.1 trillion naira 2025 budget proposal. He titled it the Budget of Inclusive Growth and Development. Mr. Femi, we keep hearing these big big figures. What are your outlook on, the overview? There's something about VAT. There's something about excess crude account. He outlined the funding sources for some of these things, and his priorities: education, healthcare, social investment. Are you keeping your fingers crossed as regards some of these? And then there have been a conversation around how he presented this budget. I'm talking about Fubara. Maybe you want to touch on that.
Yeah, to start with, the budget is not something that people have to jubilate over.
Right.
It is the implementation that matters, because presentation of budget has become an annual ritual. Whether the governor likes it or not, whether the president likes it or not, he must present a budget to the people. But how far they go about the implementation is what touches the lives of the people. And that is why we are saying that they should be faithful to what they have presented to the people, so that life will be better. We should not be managing to live in this country because we have been so blessed. We've been over pampered by God with all the things that He has given to us, which other nations don't have. And then there is no reason for us to be going cap in hand to other nations to give us money, to give us grants, or to borrow from them. There is no reason for any Nigerian to manage to live. We should live comfortably as they do in those countries where they don't have as much as God has given us. So, and I expect that the governors should pay serious attention to education, because no nation can develop beyond the level of education being given to the citizens. If your citizens are well educated, then their horizon will be so massive, so expanded, and then it will lead to development for the nation. And then anyone who wants to work for the nation must have good health. So education and health should take the front burner in the implementation of budgets, whether at federal or state, even at the local government level. So we need all of this. And then for Fubara, who presented to 3-man House of Assembly, I won't blame the man, because the persons that I should blame are the people that populate the Temple of Justice. These people, 27 of them, declared on television. They even wrote something to some people in certain quarters that yes, they have gone to PDP, and the law book says that anyone who defects in that manner loses his seat. And then the governor says these people are no longer recognized by the constitution of the country. But because it is politics, they are for dragging what needs to be done is not done. So if the man is decided not to have anything to do with the 27, I think legally the man is right. So he goes to town with whatever he has, and that's why he has presented to the 3 men.
All right, let's quickly touch on this particular story. There was a report, something about organized crime and corruption reporting project. I don't know if you caught that. The OCCRP has named the president as one of the finalists for the 2024 Person of the Year in Organized Crime and Corruption. The winner is determined by an expert panel comprising members of civil society, academia, and journalists. And the finalists were President Kenya William Ruto, former president of Indonesia, and the president of Nigeria. And what would you say? Would you consider this a very weighty allegation against the president, alleging that our president is the third most corrupt leader? I mean, they talked about him being the governor of Lagos State from 1999 to 2003, and the allegations of amassing significant wealth for himself and his family, and also something about the Chicago incident and all of that.
Well, I see that one as a paperwork, because anything that is not pronounced by the court is, to me, is a paper tiger that cannot bite that or attack anybody. So I see it as a paperwork. And then it's just like when Prophet Isaiah was giving prophecy about the birth of Jesus Christ. He said something that I love. He said he will not judge by what he sees or what he hears, but he will judge. He will give justice to the world with fairness. So if the courts have not pronounced him a corrupt person, I will not see it that way. However, my eyes can see, my ears may hear about all these things that that body has said, but I will not pronounce it with my mouth that I know the man is like that, because the right place where he's supposed to be declared to has not declared him. And unfortunately, people that should drag him to that place where he should be so declared have not done so. So,
do you think that the report is playing to the gallery? Because when I checked, took a look at a couple of comments, and it was flooded with so many, assertions of this allegation.
Yeah, the allegations may be there. Even the evidence may be there. But if the evidence is not proven in the court, then it is just there. So there's nothing that anybody can do. So that is why all of us must hold a serious allegiance to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The police should hold allegiance to the Constitution of Nigeria. The military should do the same, not to the president as we currently do, not to the governor as we currently do. It is to the Constitution as it is done in the United States of America, where we borrowed this type of system of administration, which is a democracy. So that is what they do over there. Not their allegiance is not to the president, but to the Constitution of the nation. So we should replicate it in this country too. When we do that, then if anybody tampers with anything that belongs to the people, then that person is we smell we carry the can of worm.
To the Vanguard newspaper, it says, according to this report, the NLC is insisting on withdrawal of tax reform bills. They're asking that all stakeholders must be involved in the process. And they're saying that the bill should not favor one region against the other. And also that the Bala Mohammed statement and the back and forth that has come from it as regards whether or not he should retract his statement, and the quote-unquote threat that was attached to that particular conversation. Maybe you want to touch on that.
Yeah, NSC seems to be coming so late. Maybe it has just woken up. So many people have said that the president should, the National Assembly should hold on and allow more JoJo to take place, people to talk. But I don't subscribe to what NSC is saying, that the bill is favoring certain part of the country against some other part of the country. I don't believe so. What that bill seems to achieve, which I love most, is for the governors to roll up their sleeves and work. So people cannot just come to office and then just be enjoying the perks of office and then just be moving flamboyantly all over the place, all over the space. That is not why they are there. They are there to work. They promised the people that they were going to work for them, and they get there. Instead of working for the people are working for slaving for them, and then they are gallivanting all over the place. That is not what is expected of them. So that thing is, the bills are out to expose their lackadaisical attitude in office, and for somebody to say that it is to create coalition between certain section of the country against the other, I don't believe so. So, but the gray areas, if there are gray areas, let the gray areas be taken care of, and then let the bill come be given birth to. And then it's like you asked another question.
I think you pretty much covered it, actually, about the NLC and the Bala Mohammed
Bala Mohammed. I think Bala Mohammed, he has defended himself. And he said something that is germane. He said he's surprised that the president, President Bola Tinubu, who criticized heavily the government of Jonathan, is now a person in office now who doesn't want to be criticized. And this is a democracy. Anybody should be able to criticize the president so long you are saying the right thing. However, I have seen it too, that the president, it may not be the president, but people around him, they are fighting for him. Whenever you say anything against the president, then they will go to the rooftop and then start shouting and abusing and doing all sorts of things. The president, in fact, I don't think there is any president that has ever been demeaned as Jonathan was demeaned, and by Lai Mohammed, Bola Tinubu, Tunji Braithwaite, that son of Gani Fawehinmi, Femi Kuti, all of them Joe Dumakin, all of them. So they said a lot of things against that man, and the man did not do anything. He allowed them to do all those things. As news editor, then I saw a lot that they did to make a nonsense of that man and his office. Yeah, and he didn't do anything to them. So the president should be receptive too, because he had done it to somebody.
All right, 32FM 94.9. Your reactions, your contributions are welcome. You can call our numbers 0705 5000 949 029 7000 949. We're also live on Facebook. It is 32FM 949 Fenye. 32FM 949 Fenye. We can also take your comments and reactions. So you want to go on there and talk about any of these headlines that we have discussed so far on the show. Mr. Femi, I want you to touch on the Federal Ministry of Works and budgeting about 4 billion naira to construct a presidential helipad and a jetty in Lagos. That's for the president, of course. The Guardian reports it as federal government budgets 4 billion naira for presidential helipad jetty in Lagos.
I think that is a unnecessary luxury, because that the 4 billion they want to use to do that can be channeled towards another development projects for the people. I mean, the president is not voted in to come and live luxurious life.
Do you think that the call to reduce cost of governance is not exactly getting to the appropriate quarters? Maybe there's another way that we should communicate
My
this.
dear sister, they hear us. As we are speaking, they hear us. The DSS hears us. If I say anything that is highly offensive to the constitution of this country, I will not sleep in my house today. They hear us.
Please hold that thought. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, brother. Good morning, Dalukule.
Good morning, brother.
Happy New Year to you. Because I like to see the business and beyond in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Well, on this, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Yeah. On the statement presented to the governor, I think the governor that is forgot his name now.
Bala Mohammed.
Against President Tinubu is an inciting statement, which should not supposed to be. So we need that President Tinubu as well. When he was in the position, he can also do the same. But this is democracy, and the man that made that statement is the governor. And I think that even if you want to reject the tax bill, I believe that there is a way we should channel their aggression and not that insightful statement that he made. Either as it means, even it's an ordinary Nigerian that makes such a statement, I'm telling you, he would have picked up the person for now. There is an whistleblower that was picked up some few days ago, just because he made a comment about the France invasion into Nigeria. And within some people, it's not even up to me, the man was picked up. So, because the government that made that statement, he has an immunity, he cannot be picked up. So Nigeria is a country that we must not allow for the condemnation statement. We must not allow for any statement that will bring the chaos or anarchy to the country. So may God bless Nigeria, may God bless and for nice. Happy New Year once again and have a nice day.
Benga Mario, thank you very much. You know that we said this thing yesterday. It is true that saying that the president we know what the North is made of, that we will let him know what we are made of. It is also very, very much combative. So it's like he threatened the president. We said it yesterday. I don't subscribe to it at all, but I harped on what he said, that the president doesn't want to be criticized. We have seen evidences of such. So we don't want any threat to the president. We don't want any threat to our democracy. So I am on the same page with you, Benga Mario, just like I said yesterday.
0705 5000 949 0829 7000 949. You can also join us live on Facebook, 32FM 949 Fenye. We're talking about a particular situation before we went on that call. You can call the number 0705 5000 949 0829 7000 949. Let's just move on from that one. Let's talk about the NLC, or that's Oyo NLC now, hailing the governor of Oyo State over 13th month pay pay. There seemed to have been a payment that was on Monday evening. Of course, this was Monday, but the NLC is now coming out to say that this is such a welcome development and thanking the president on behalf of the entire workforce of Oyo State.
You mean the president or the governor?
The governor, I beg your pardon.
Okay. Well, I congratulate the Oyo State workers. It is time for them to smile. They smiled into 2025. And I joined them to say thank you to the governor, because the 13th month salary is not their right. It is not their right at all. The January to December salaries are their rights. But 13th month is not their right, it's a privilege. So I congratulate them and I thank the governor on their behalf. But the governor must focus aggressively on the roads, more especially roads of places outside Ibadan. He must give serious attention to that.
All right, so 705 5949 0809 7949. Balkis Onodiran on Facebook says Governor Bala Mohammed's statement on tax reforms, particularly his remark, "We will show him our true colors," comes across as provocative and raises questions about its intent. It's puzzling why northern leaders often act as though they alone were responsible for bringing the president to power. All right, thank you very much. Mr. Fem, let's quickly touch on this particular statement that was credited to Bala Mohammed as well. He talked about something about the security infrastructure, saying that he accused some security personnel of collecting ransom for banditry, and he talked about the president ensuring that there is no oil exploration going on in certain parts of Bauchi State, Gombe, and the likes. What are your thoughts on this one as regards expressing his concerns that some criminals are allowed to roam freely?
I think His Excellency, the governor of Bauchi State, is talking too much, and his speeches are inflammatory. And he should be very careful, because given the office that is occupying, it is not expected of him to speak like that. Even when he sees anything that is, even if it is correct, I think he has a channel to talk to the president. He cannot say the president has not allowed anyone to do exploration in Bauchi State or to do mining of any oil or whatever. So he has the ample opportunity to talk to the president. And then that some security apparatus are collecting money for bandits. He is a governor, and if he picks his phone and speaks to the president, who is the commander-in-chief, I think that would be better than he telling us. We don't need to be told. We want to see action. That such security personnel have been dealt with severely. That is what the members of the public want to hear. We don't want to hear allegation of that magnitude. So it is not good. So we should watch the way he speaks. Just like the way he speaks now, people are reading meanings to his words. So he should be careful. And his utterances show that they are laced with arrogance. And that is not what we want and what is expected from him.
Please feel free to engage with us via calls, messages, and Facebook. Calls 0705 5949 or 829 7949 for our international audience, +234 906 2949. You can also go on Facebook. It is 32FM 949 Fenye. I just want you to quickly touch on this particular one, and it was something about 𝐃𝐈𝐒. Maybe you want to touch on that. It was in the papers today, something about Buhari laying a solid foundation for the president to build on, and some other statements that he talked about.
Well, naturally, when somebody wants to build a house, you have to lay a foundation. So I don't know the kind of foundation that he claims Buhari laid. If it was foundation of debt, it was solid, and he laid it for Tinubu to grapple with. So if it was a foundation of lackadaisical
so
attitude.
You agree with the statement credited to Akpabio that says that Nigeria was on life support before the president came on board?
He has no right to tell us that, because Tinubu himself knew before he came in. And all of them, when Buhari was in power, all of them were saying that yes, he did well. He served as a minister under Buhari. All of them were saying Buhari did well. But for him now to be telling us that Nigeria was on life support before Tinubu came, what power made Nigeria to be gasping for oxygen? Is it not their party? Is it not the Buhari that President Tinubu brought to office? Is it not the Buhari administration that he served as a minister? So he has no reason to tell us all this. In fact, it is insulting. What we need them to do is to roll up their sleeves and work and take us out of the state of comatose that the nation is. So that is what is expected.
Speaking of their party, the PDP national chairman Umar Damagum was saying something about the opposition cannot unseat the president without a merger. Do you agree to this?
I solidly agree with Damagum. You know, if Tinubu, Bisi Akande, John Oyegun, and a few others, if they did not utilize the crack they saw in PDP during Jonathan administration, they would not be in power today. So they saw a crack, and then they decided to widen the crack. They went to the governors, they went to Amechi in Rivers, they went to Kokoso in Kano, they went to Wamako in Sokoto, and they went to this guy in Ahmed in Kwara, and there's another governor I always forget. They were 5. And while they were doing that, when they were doing Tinubu, Akande, and all of them were doing the consultation, the National Party chairman, National PDP chairman, was saying that we don't believe there is anything. We don't believe that anybody wants to go. And the governor, even I remember Amechi was saying that when he saw Tinubu, Oyegun, Akande off to the airport, he was telling the people that these people came to tell me to come and join their party, but I've not given them my word. I want to consult with the president first. And the President Jonathan, they did nothing. And all these people went with all their structures. And that is why APC was able to win the presidency. So if there is no merger, if there is no arrangement between all these parties, they cannot unseat Tinubu.
But are we taking out the factor of the people, the ability to vote and to win? It's not just about the merger. What about the place of the people, the ability to decide that this is who they want or not?
Don't forget that each of the parties has its followers. So those if let's assume 5 parties meet now, and then their followers begin to win souls, more souls, even from APC, then they will win. They will win.
All right, let's quickly touch on Simon Ekpa. According to the Daily Post reports that Nigeria submitted extradition requirement to the Finnish government, and I'll just ask that what would you say about this particular one as regards how 2025 is going to be looking, particularly on this case and Nnamdi Kanu situation?
I may say that this Samuel Ekpa has created more problems for what's the name of the other guy? Nnamdi Kanu, with so many careless utterances that he made. He says so many things against this country, as if this country is not his country. And you see, we need everybody to come together to rebuild this country. But he was there in Finland, and he was talking so inflammatory, so many inflammatory utterances to the government, making this nation cheap. So if the government of Nigeria says it wants a Finnish government to release him to us to come and answer queries about so many things he said against the country, I think it's a welcome development. He has created more problems for Nnamdi Kanu. That is why they don't want to release that guy, because Nnamdi Kanu is still in the confinement where he is. That case does not even have any steam any longer. So the best thing is for the federal government to make political consultation and solution, and let the man Nnamdi Kanu get out of that place. But this one, Samuel Ekpa, I think he has so many questions to answer from the government of Nigeria. So if government of Nigeria succeeds in bringing him to the country, I think it's a welcome development.
0705 5000 949 0809 7000 949. We're live on Facebook, 32FM 949 Ibadan. As we wrap up, I want you to just touch on the statement credited to the ex-presidential aide, Babafemi Ojudu. He has alleged that the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, never supported the presidential ambition of his then vice president, Yomi Osinbajo. He said that he did not want him to outmaneuver him or something like that, and says that he disclosed that he also did not back the current president despite their friendship and political alliance. Would you say that these are speculations, or how would you rather handle this?
It is not speculation. It is what we saw. It is what Nigerians saw. Then the unfortunate aspect of it is that we lost a person like former vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo.
He actually said it's like missing out on the leadership of Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
It is very true. It is very true. If you look at the cerebral capacity of Yemi Osinbajo is a professor in his own class. There are so many. It's not all professors that are learned. I am bold enough to say so. It's not all professors that I respect. It's not all PhD holders that I respect. But go and see Yemi Osinbajo. Yemi Osinbajo is in a class of his own. He is so cerebral and he knows this country. The other time that Buhari was sick and they transferred power to him, within 3 months, you saw what he did in this country. Even the stock exchange reacted positively to the 3 months that the man spent in office. So we missed him, just like we missed Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and it's unfortunate.
Do you think that there was anything that the former president could have done to aid Yemi Osinbajo's chances at the time?
No, I don't know, because it is politics and it is a game of number. But don't forget that even saying that, there are so many undercurrents in politics. You don't know what he has done behind the camera, so one would not know. So.
All right, we'll quickly take this comment. It's time for us to go. Simeon Adedikwe says, on the alleged threat of NLC against the tax reform bill, my view is that the officials of NLC are not well informed about the runnings of economy. The tax reform should continue and conclude successfully soon. My appeal is to the National Assembly to disregard Bala Mohammed and others and do the needful. One of the advantages of the tax reform is that it should make lazy governors like Bala Mohammed explore the limestone and other resources in their state, get revenues from the new explorations directly, and get higher tax on the amounts that go into federal government from them. It's time for us to go. Thank you so much for your analysis, Mr. Femi Olukunle. It's time for us to hand over to the next program, which is a Smart Kids Show. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, dear listener. The Papers Review returns tomorrow, Thursday, 2nd of January at 6:30 a.m. to 7:15. I am DENIKE Ademuwagun. Bye for now and Happy New Year once again.